Hello, everybody. My name is Nicole Mason, and I am the president of the Academy of Doctoral PAs. I am putting together this presentation just to give everyone who didn't have a chance to come to our informational meeting last night a little bit more information about who and what the Academy of Doctoral PAs is all about, what our mission is, what our vision is, what our plans for the PA profession are. So with that, I'm going to share my screen with you and show a little bit about what we have planned. So as you can see, our acronym is the ADPA. Again, we are here to create, shape, and enrich the PA profession. I just want to give you a little bit of background information. The board of directors formed the Academy of Doctoral PAs last June, and as such, we have a president, myself. We have two vice presidents. The first vice president is Devana Abel. She's a DMS graduate from University of Lynchburg. And then we have the second vice president, which is Peter Yen. He's also a DMS graduate. Our secretary is Wes Johnson. He is a DHS graduate, a Doctor of Health Sciences graduate. And then we also have our treasurer, Jerry Erickson. He is a DMS graduate, as well as the president of the PA Foundation, the AAPA. We have two directors at large. Our first one is Eder Hernandez. He's a DMS graduate. And our second director at large is Jonathan Corrigan, who is, like Wes, a Doctor of Health Sciences graduate. So these individuals have been working really hard with me over the past year to get our association up and running. We decided to form last June, but it wasn't really until about 3 months ago that we were an official organization. And so about 6 or 8 months were spent forming all of the necessary work to have the association. That's not to say we haven't been busy since then, though. So moving on, our vision statement, as you can read there, our vision is to shape PA practice. We want to be the practice that we want to be the professional that is the professional everybody wants to be 50 years from now. And in that way, to remain viable and relevant, we're going to have to do a lot of work to shape the way PA practice currently is, as opposed to what it needs to be to remain a viable profession. With that, we plan or intend to create an integrative healthcare administration and in any way possible to enrich the PA profession. So with that said, our mission follows from our vision, and you don't have to read all of this, but basically our mission is that we will help the PA profession progress from what they are now so that we can remain competitive in the healthcare industry. We're going to assist PA partners to provide any relevant educational opportunities that we feel PAs may benefit from. We will also educate, whether that's business, healthcare leaders, other business leaders, legislatures. We want everyone to know what the appropriate utilization of PAs are so that PAs can work to the top of our license and as needed for our patient populations. We want PAs to be utilized as efficiently and effectively as possible. So one of the first things that we did after forming was identify the deficits in our profession. And so there are 4 big deficits, but there are really a lot of subcategories from that. So the biggest deficit was leadership training. And I think any PA that has gone from didactic to clinical schooling to then in a clinical practice would agree that just in general, there's not any leadership training for PAs throughout schooling and in clinical practice. If we are to progress the profession and become a profession in our own right, then we need some leadership training for our individuals at all junctures of the process. The next thing that we found to be a deficit in the profession was educational advancement opportunities. Now that started to improve somewhat with the DMS programs, but in general, there are a lot of advancement opportunities that aren't open to PAs because of educational issues. We also have noticed that there are some specialization trends in healthcare and it's a deficit in regards to the PA profession. And the fourth and probably most important thing are career opportunities. Any PA that has been in practice for more than just a couple of years can tell you that there is a glass ceiling for PAs in the profession that isn't there for our other healthcare provider partners, including NPs, MDs, and DOs. PAs are, we rock it at clinical healthcare and clinical work, but PAs are largely, if not completely, overlooked when it comes to other areas of healthcare where we could be useful workers, and that includes healthcare administration, as well as clinical research opportunities, entrepreneurship, pharmaceutical research, medical writing, medical leadership. So basically, any career opportunity that is not a clinical role, PAs are largely, if not completely, overlooked on. And that's a huge problem for our profession, especially if we plan to progress it. So after we came up with deficits that we found within the PA profession, we came up with an action plan to address those deficits. And so our action plan doesn't look like it's very involved, but it really is a pretty complex process that will happen. So first, we need to identify some values that the PA doctoral programs add for their graduates. Currently, a big question is why? Why do PAs need a doctorate? And our association hopes to answer that question for PAs that are looking for a doctoral program. Honestly, not every PA needs to have a doctorate. The career goals of one PA probably differ quite a bit from another PA, and not every PA needs to have a doctorate in order to fulfill their career goals. And so what we need to do is identify which type of PA, what their end goal for careers are, and if the doctorate will meet those goals or not. The other thing is, going along with our deficit in leadership, we plan to start the process of improving leadership by having our first conference centered around leadership. So there'll be a CME conference, but as well as future workshops and lecture material, we hope to work with current PA professionals who are already working in leadership roles to help refine, mentor, and improve upon other PAs that want to become leaders within our profession. And the third thing, our third action plan, is to research the direction of the PA profession. And this is actually a four-part process. And in doing this, we'll partner with educators, and that really doesn't matter what kind of educator, whether or not it's a professional entity like the NCCPA. We'll partner with somebody to develop and research any relevant certifications or educational opportunities or content that we can use to move the PA profession forward. Next, we also plan to develop relevant educational opportunities to increase the marketability of PAs. And there's a lot of issues with marketability of PAs right now. I'm sure a lot of us are aware of the name change, such a huge market issue, but there are others as well. And some of them are some of the simplest things. We want to also work to research on how we can promote PA entrepreneurship. If there is going to be a leader, entrepreneurship is certainly the way to go. And then finally, we want to advocate for clinical and administrative leadership roles, as well as movement beyond typical healthcare, clinical, administrative functions and into medical research, as well as non-PA related educational opportunities. So with that said, we've only been officially formed for about 3 months, but we've been busy over the past year despite the work we've been doing with forming. Just last month, we formed a coalition with PAs in virtual medicine and telemedicine, more commonly known as PAVMET. And so this alliance is meant to advocate for the PA profession. We plan on developing joint collection and reporting of data so that we can support regulatory modifications. And we plan to do this so that we can enable PAs to remain a crucial component of the healthcare delivery system. So basically, any PA that has tried to get a telemedicine or virtual medicine job within probably the last 2 to 5 years have noticed, hopefully, that that is largely unavailable to the PA profession at the moment, and that has to do with archaic and legislative and restrictive administrative barriers for PAs. And so we hope that by collecting this information and publishing it, that we can work to educate healthcare business leaders, PA programs, and national and state organizations as to the problem, and in turn affect legislative changes to remove some of the barriers to the PAs being a part of this healthcare marketplace. And by doing all that, the end goal or result is to improve PA virtual medicine representation. Something else the ADPA has been working on is an alliance with PAFT. So basically, wherever our mission and vision aligns with another PA group or non-PA group, we will work with them to advance the profession. So we've started a coalition with PAVNet. We've had an alliance with PAFT. And that was last fall, right after the president came out with his executive order limiting the red tape or barriers, legislative barriers that were unnecessary to practice of NPs and PAs. And that's because we want to remain a viable profession. And we have also, I'm going to slip to another slide real fast. We've also been approved as a special interest group by the AAPA. This was a very long and tedious process that was difficult to garner, but we did. And the result of this alliance is that we can work together on some common visions and strategies. And in this way, the ADPA will be better aligned so that we can seek partnerships from other entities that promote the profession. This also means that we will still be free to work on our vision and mission statements where it's not shared by the AAPA. For example, right now the AAPA is not addressing the doctoral PA degree. The master's level degree is still the degree that is recognized by the AAPA, the PAEA, and ARC-PAs. And we want to specifically, again, start to look at why are we doing this as a group of PAs? What is compensation for PAs that go on to get their doctorates? What is the career projection for PAs once they have that doctorate degree? And by aligning as a special interest group with the APA, we can further develop leaders within the profession, which is one of our main tenets. So back to leadership. So we're planning on a conference in May of 2021. The location is we plan to have the location at a current Doctor of Medical Sciences program campus. Right now, because of COVID, it's a little bit up in the air whether that will happen or not, but that is still our current goal. And here you can look at some of the educational content. This is just very basic stuff, and it will likely change as we further refine who will be our presenters, what will be the CME content of the presentation, and how we reach our goals of leadership for those that attend. If you decide to join the ADPA, we do have a professional forum. This is something that we thought was very important for doctoral PAs to have, considering the current climate that the doctorate for PAs currently has. And we've opened this up so that you can share, discuss, debate important healthcare topics, how you feel, what's going on with our profession, what you think you can do, how you can help, what you think we should be doing, how we should be helping. And so that's something specifically designed for our constituents. One thing that we did about a month or month and a half ago now is we met with all of the current DMS program directors across the country. We had a big meeting and we talked about who we are and what we plan to do with our programs. And from there, we discussed how we can be a tool for doctoral programs for PAs that want to go to the doctoral programs. We also discussed how we can be a relevant source for them with healthcare issues, career development topics, future initiatives for our professions, as well as trends within the industry. And we also feel that the ADPA will be an excellent network and career development strategy for students and graduates of doctoral programs. If you go to our website at www.padoc.org, you can see that we have several membership categories, and so you can read through each one on that and see which one best meets your needs. And if you want to apply and become a member, we need lots of help to accomplish our goals. So if you decide that you would like to become a member and then become an advocate, we could certainly use your help. So thank you for meeting with me today and listening to this. I hope you found this information useful and that you'll check out our website and maybe our organization. Thanks so much.